Welcome to week 3 of the Degenerate Gamblers. What's going on, people? Listen, before we start, look, go to YouTube, subscribe to Howie Dewey. Just do it. I mean, after this weekend, you people that were here, you know the deal. We were up 40 units after this weekend. If you started on Friday and you bet $100, Sunday night you had 4,000. I mean, that sounds wild, but you can go to our Discord and look at every single pick that we gave you and do the math. We crushed this weekend. We crushed. But let's get into how it started. Friday night, BYU at SMU. We were all over BYU. I mean, BYU is one of those teams, they just moved to this Big 12. It's one of those teams that every single year they're going to give you a game. You give them 12, 13 points on the road, forget about it. They always cover, man. BYU, you got to love those Mormons. But that's how we started out. We'll talk about teams right now that are on the up and up. Let's talk about teams that just are on the up and up. BYU being one of them. Syracuse. Syracuse. If you've been listening to the Degenerate Gamblers, our podcast the last 3 weeks, I gave you Syracuse preseason at plus 500 to win the ACC. No, I said that wrong. 500 to 1 to win the ACC, to win the conference. Yeah, that was crazy. I had people tell me I'm nuts. They're 2-0. They just beat Georgia Tech Saturday, who in turn beat Florida State previously, and they're at the top of the conference. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but 500 to 1. That's a value, baby. That's what we do here on the Degenerate Gamblers. We give you value. We give you value plays. I'm not about chalk. I'm not about Joe Public betting what everyone else is. If you followed me the last few years, you know exactly where I go. You know some of the value plays I've given you. The biggest one we'll talk about in a little bit, probably the biggest one I've had in 10 years, hit this past weekend. People made thousands of dollars on it. They did. I got enough texts this weekend that they could. We'll go over that in a second. But look, Syracuse on the up and up, BYU on the up and up. Army goes in or actually at home, beats Florida Atlantic, who should have beaten Michigan State last year, who actually beat Maryland this weekend. So there you go. Army beats Florida Atlantic, lost to Michigan State by a few last week, and Michigan State beats Maryland this weekend as a big underdog. Army's on the up and up. Of course, these other teams are on the up and up too. Mississippi State. I'm sorry, Mississippi University. I said state. Bad mistake. Mississippi University, Lane Kiffin's boys. They're just thumping teams left and right. One of the best offenses in the country. Speaking of offenses, look at Miami. University of Miami, probably the favorite to win the ACC right now as we speak, on the up and up. Alabama, still just crushing teams. They got Wisconsin this weekend. That's a game I like. Tennessee, just blowing teams out. What do these teams have in common? 3 of the 5 I just mentioned are in the SEC. I don't know if you saw the rankings. Out of the top 7 out of 10 teams, out of the top 7 teams in the country right now ranked, 6 of them are SEC teams. 6. What did we tell you preseason? You know, you just follow the money. The money went to the SEC a couple years ago. You know, they brought these teams in, University of Texas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M. I mean, there's so much money in that conference. These players are making so much damn. They have the best players. Who's the other team in there? Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really put Ohio State with the rest of the Big Ten. They've got so many solid portal transfers, a couple from the SEC. God damn, it was a good weekend. Holy shit. But so those are teams on the up and up. Teams on the down and out. Let's start with Florida State. Are you kidding me? We nailed them. A bet against them week 1, Georgia Tech. Second week, bet against them again. Took Boston College. I don't know if they'll win this weekend, Florida State. But second team that's on the down and out, Michigan. Come on. That was a gimme this weekend. You told me. If you listen to the last podcast last Monday, what did I say? I said Texas is going to spank Michigan. It's not going to be close. It wasn't close. Colorado, man, they're good with the media. Boy, they were great until they had to play someone. They got embarrassed this weekend. Look at their schedule coming up. They may not have a winning season this year. Number 4, my favorite, and you have to listen to week two. You have to listen to week two, what I said about these guys. Notre Dame, America's favorite. Those lovely Catholics. I'm Catholic, but hey, shit. Notre Dame, they're out. They're down and out. They were in like the top six. What a joke. I said Northern Illinois would probably beat them, and they did. We banked a lot of cash on that one. If you listened, if you joined Whop, go to whop.com, join the Degenerate Gamblers, and I gave you Northern Illinois at, let me see, plus one, no, not 1,000, plus two. No, it was plus 2,200 last Monday if you bet them. That's right. $50. You bet 50 bucks, you got 1,100 back. That's not bad. Kentucky of the SEC, they're done. They got spanked by South Carolina. They're done. They got to play Georgia this weekend. That's going to be brutal. Iowa of the Big Ten, losing to Iowa State. I also think they're done. Uh, Auburn, not looking good. Lose to California at home. That's not a good look for an SEC school. Kansas, I think they play UNLV this weekend. They could lose to UNLV, who UNLV is on a team on the up and up. I forgot to mention them. Boise State. They lost to Oregon by a few. Of course, we took them plus 19 and a half, plus 18 and a half. We nailed that this weekend. Boise State is a solid team. So there you have it. That's kind of what we're looking at going into week three. And we got there quickly. No surprises at all. Really, no surprises. Every team that we thought would be on the up and up is. Every team that we thought was overrated is, Florida State, Michigan, Colorado, Notre Dame. Are you kidding me? Those four teams, you knew they were going to be overrated. Just bet against them and you'll make bank. Yeah, these lines this year in Vegas, I don't want to say they've been too easy. Joe Public has been really wrong this year, which is good for a guy like me because I'm a contrarian. Um, let's talk about the big one this weekend. Listen, and this holds to be true for how I pick games going forward. I said I pushed it so hard on last week's pod. I said my pick of the week, Northern Illinois. They started at 30 and a half underdogs, went to 28 and a half by Monday, and I was all over them. I said, get on this thing now. It's plus 2,200, the money line. You got to sprinkle a little on the money line. I kept saying that. I literally DM'd, texted all my friends Saturday morning, said, put a little on Northern Illinois. I'd say half of them did. By 4 or 5 o'clock Saturday, they were going ballistic. I had one friend who bet 200 on the money line, brought back almost 5 grand, a little over 200. But anyways, look at Northern Illinois. You knew they kept it close. What did I say they had to do? They didn't turn the ball over. They did not turn the ball over. They made Notre Dame turn the ball over. And they went into Notre Dame's house and beat them. And it wasn't a surprise. I said that. To me, it was not a big upset. But it's just one of the values of joining the Degenerate Gamblers. You got to join. Go to whop.com. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Follow Howie_Dewey on Twitter, Instagram, all of it. Look, let's get into this week. Let's get into week three because we start off Thursday night and this is a weird spread. I got to make some phone calls. I got to investigate this. It's Arizona State. Arizona State -2 going to Texas State. Texas State's not bad. Arizona State's looking better than they have in a long time. -2. One would think that line would be 6.5 or 7. It's not. Thursday night. I mean, they're giving Texas State, maybe it's an ESPN thing. They're giving them some points because they're home. They expect a large showing. I don't know. The line scares me. I'm thinking that Texas State probably covers that. Something's weird about that line. I have to investigate that. Brings us to Friday. UNLV going to Kansas. UNLV plus 6.5. They buried Houston opening game. Oklahoma had a tough time with Houston Saturday. They won Saturday. They're 2-0 going into Kansas. Plus 6.5. I'm not going to lie. I think they probably beat Kansas. They have a better team. I mean, some of these Mountain West Conference teams have stepped their game up. Look at Boise State. Should have beaten Oregon. Should have beaten them. Lost them by what, three? Had the game won. Up big. Uh, and UNLV is a good team. How do I know that? Look, if you're not sure about some of these, not as well publicized Division I football programs like a UNLV, look at their roster. Look at the roster. Look at some of their defensive players, their offensive players, and find out if they're possible draft picks. UNLV's got a couple of them. And it's like that in college basketball. You'll have a mid-major team going up against a strong Division I team, like a Butler or a San Diego State. And if you read between the lines, they're like, yeah, this guy's projected to be a first or second round draft pick. You got to bet him. He's that much better than everybody else. And UNLV has a couple solid players, a few actually. I think they could go into Kansas Friday night and come out with a win. Uh, Friday, you got another weird one. You got Arizona +7 at Kansas State. Kansas State struggled Saturday, struggled against Tulane. Arizona's look good. Look, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm all over Arizona Friday night +7. I'll take a money line just because I lost a really good friend yesterday. Charles Chuck Simon. He's been on a couple podcasts with me. Great horse trainer over the past 25 years. We had some great horses to watch at Chuck Train. He passed away yesterday, early afternoon to cancer. It was weird. I was going to see him Derby Day to watch the Kentucky Derby first week in May. He didn't feel well, found out 2 weeks later he had cancer, just passed away yesterday. But he went to Arizona. He went to University of Arizona and he loves University of Arizona. I'm betting him Friday, man. Chuck, this one's for you. Arizona +7. Let's roll. I'm all over it. Saturday, we have a couple interesting games. You got Alabama playing at Wisconsin. People are like, that's kind of a big line to be laying. +15.5 at Wisconsin. I'm all over Alabama. Alabama is there. It's a business game for them. They have to win. They have to win big to stay atop the SEC. The SEC is no joke this year, man. You got six teams all vying for, I don't know. You think they'll get four in with this playoff? Probably. Maybe four or five. It's tough to tell. But Bama's one that's got to win big at Wisconsin. I think they probably do. +50.5. They probably cover that. I'll give you another game. Miami of Ohio playing at Cincinnati. If you saw Cincinnati this Saturday, excuse me, it's one of my few losses. I had Cincinnati beating Pittsburgh when they were up 14 with a few minutes to go and they blew that game. I don't like Cincinnati. I think Miami of Ohio. I do love the MAC conference this year. Northern Illinois, Toledo. I love the MAC. I think they go into Cincinnati. Cincinnati looks like one of those teams that's going to probably lose by a few all year long, not beat anyone. I like Miami of Ohio getting 2.5. You got LSU -7.5 going into South Carolina, who just thumped Kentucky. How can you bet LSU -7.5? I mean, I have no faith in that program. Brian Kelly, get out. I'll take Sarah. I'll take the Cox all day, baby. It's the only time I will, but I will Saturday. Go South Carolina. I like BC at Missouri. I like BC at Missouri. You got an ACC team who's playing well. They beat Florida State going into Missouri. Are they really an SEC team? I don't know. I'm not there yet. I've been there a few years, but BC's +16.5. This is a good game. Missouri's not that great. Good quarterback, one of the best receivers in the country. BC has a solid coach. O'Brien's good. I think he sets up think they play great D against him, probably low scoring game. They cover, you know? I'm giving you guys too many games right here, but I have so many I love this weekend. Here's one. Notre Dame at Purdue. Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame. Notre Dame's made me so much money over the years, usually betting against them, like Northern Illinois. But this weekend is different. They're laying 12.5 at Purdue. I have no faith in Purdue. I don't think Purdue has anything. Notre Dame's coming off the worst loss. Look, they don't win by 4 or 5 touchdowns. This coach is in trouble. I think they do go to Purdue, blow them out, maybe think they can save face and get a playoff spot. It's not going to happen. but I do think they win big this weekend. Couple other games. Florida Atlantic laying 6 at Florida International. It's home. It's at Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic played this weekend, lost like 3 touchdowns to Army. Who I like Army. I think Army's going to beat some teams. Florida Atlantic lost to Michigan State last Saturday by a few. Michigan State beat Maryland. I think Florida Atlantic is good. I think they're decent. They're respectable. Florida International is not. That's that one school in Florida that just got every degenerate from every different Florida school that either failed out or didn't make the team, and they're all at FIU. I think Florida Atlantic rolls this weekend. I can't believe that line. I think the line should be 10 versus 6. Of course, then we got University of Georgia playing Kentucky. The dogs are -24. Kentucky just got blown out this weekend. I don't really love the game. I can see Kentucky, score a backdoor in that. Georgia wins by 21, but here's what I do like. I don't think Kentucky scores more than 3, maybe a touchdown, maybe a field goal. The over-under's 45. I'm all over that under. Guys, we crushed the NFL yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Hit a couple teasers. Tonight, I can't even keep a straight face talking about the Jets-Niners game tonight because I'm a huge Jets fan. The Jets are underdogs. I'm going to say take the Jets. I don't know, man. I have no play on this damn game tonight because I'm too biased. But I'm going to get some really solid information from some of my NFL friends who are experts. Kevin Goatee last week gave some great props, great futures. And I will have a play out on it on our Discord. Go to Howie Dewey YouTube. Join the channel, man. Follow me. I'm gonna have all kinds of content out this year. I'm traveling all over the country, getting information in different towns, different schools. You saw Georgia Southern go to Nevada and beat them Saturday. Yeah, we had that. We crushed. Go to Howie Dewey Twitter, Howie Dewey _ Howie _ Dewey. I'm shot in the head. It was a wild weekend, but I think next week is going to be great. We're going to get out here Thursday with NFL picks. We're going to have some Major League Baseball content coming up. Everybody's beating each other right now. Anyways, we had the best weekend we've had in probably 10 years. I'm not kidding you. We had Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame, baby. Yes, we did. Plus 2,200. Go to Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. Let's get crazy. It's a great Discord, man. We have a lot of fun on there. It's good having guys from all over the country. You get good information. Let's bank. Peace.